No,
Wish I was. I was waiting on you.
I was waiting on you.
We don't
actually.
do that stuff around here. We just dig for oil.
You're gonna be digging for a while.
Dude, I finished Ready Player One.
The book.
Yes.
Okay.
So good.
Really?
Yes. Have you ever read it?
No.
You should read it. Did you like the movie?
I did. I liked the movie a lot when it came out.
Book
And
is...
I rewatched it a couple times. Right now, I feel like I wouldn't, if I rewatched it, I wouldn't be that thrilled with it.
Book is... See, fuck, dude. The number one thing I hate about the fact that I read now is I was about to say something that I hate saying.
You better say it.
The book was way better than the movie.
Bingo! There it is.
But it actually is kind of like, because of what I said about the Maze Runner books and movies, the book is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the challenges, entirely different.
Yeah.
The structure of the Oasis, different. The relationship between characters, different.
Yeah.
So I think you would like it a lot. I started reading a new book, and this is again my my noviceness. Is that not?
I mean, we know what you understand.
My young reading
Your
career,
inexperience.
my inexperienced reading career. I was like, I want to read. So I liked reading the Harry Potters. I really liked reading the Maze Runners, and I really liked reading Ready Player One. I don't think I want to read Ready Player Two. I think it'll ruin Ready Player One for me.
Quite possible.
So I'm like, I take to our boy ChatGPT,
Jesus Christ.
and I'm like, book.
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling it.
You're like, this is what I
liked
liked
about these books. This is why I like them. Blah blah blah. So it gave me a few suggestions. So I started reading this book called Red Rising. You ever heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you read it?
No, but my wife gave it to me actually for Christmas because
This year?
Yes, because one of our friends recommended it.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you gonna read it?
Probably at some point.
All right. Yeah, I just started it.
And do you like it so far?
Yes. It's yeah.
Cool.
It's cool. It's a cool concept.
It's a
cool
fantasy
concept.
book, right?
It is, but it's about like a world where there's caste systems based on, like, they call it color.
Doesn't sound like fantasy to me.
So
Doesn't sound like fantasy to me.
you're like, so
Sounds
the
like
golds
reality.
the golds are like the cream of the crop.
Oh boy.
This book, obviously, the main character that's in his brain, whatever
Yeah.
they call that, is a red. And the reds live on
From first person
Yes,
point of view, where it's
yes.
like I went there.
Yes,
Okay,
uh-huh.
cool. I like
and
that.
the reds live on Mars,
Nice.
and this is all like in the first chapter, so it's not, but they're like a working class, like they're like the low,
Yeah.
maybe not the lowest, but like they're low down there, and they drill into Mars for this like gas that they collect, so that because I guess Earth is no bueno anymore, so they've moved the golds off of Earth, so the reds are on Mars drilling for this gas that's going to make it inhabitable for the golds. So yeah, that's really where I am to start.
You know,
And there's the governing body of like the human race is called the society.
This is something that has always kind of bothered me with science fiction and fantasy books, because it's been happening since 5th grade, where like the book The Giver is the one that comes to mind, which is a wonderful book, but you know, it's like things being named the society and stuff like.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's good because it sounds mysterious and it's purposefully like non-specific, right? Because anybody could be in the society, blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's the case for this, but
I don't know.
I think it's more. I think it's more interesting if you do it kind of the way in like Dune, right? Like the names for Dune, like you have the Bene Gesserit, like they're real names for. They don't make any fucking sense, but that's why it's good, is because it puts you more into that world.
So,
where it's like just called the society, like that's kind of first thought, best thought. I think maybe not that the whole book is like that, but now I'm talking.
Well, it has
talking
another
circles,
name.
The Algakano,
But they call it the society because, like, all I really know so far and what I've read is like on Mars. I think on Mars there's also the Greys, which are like somewhere middle in the class system, but they call them the tin cups. And I like that.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's
tin
that's
cups.
the slang for like the terms in the caste system. Like that feels very Hunger
There
Games
is words.
Stuff,
Yes, it is. Yeah, there is also words in this book, which is the main reason I stopped reading Dune after I read the first 3 chapters of that book was. But I'm gonna give this one a try, and I'll eventually come back to Dune. Maybe this will give me the kick I need because this is more of, I would say, like a wordier, like more dense book than some of the other ones I've read. But there's a lot of words that mean nothing in the English language.
Yeah.
And I'm a Kindle guy. I got a Kindle for Christmas, and I like Kindle because I click the word and it tells me the definition. These words think I know defies.
See that's a big plus to me. I see a word I don't recognize. I see Mao Dib written out in a book, and I'm like, that's exciting because I don't know what that is in reference to. It could be anything, and I like it when the characters in the book are just using that, willy-nilly because to them that's a regular word, Yeah. It makes more sense. Why would they I don't know. Just calling it the society, whatever. I'm trying to remember the details of the Hunger Games because I feel like the Hunger Games has a lot of like very non-specific names, for things. I'll give you that one for free, folks. And calling them the tin cups, like you got to have the slang terms for this and that, but I don't know, there's something that does not excite me about that kind of world building. There's something I'm not sure how to describe. This is something I'll have to think about more.
So now you're not going to want to read the book.
No, I'll still read it if it's, got like an interesting story, if it's got something I've never thought about before. But the gosh, I'm not prepared for this conversation. I should be. I wish I was. But this is something that would require more pondering on my part. Let me tell you what I'm reading, because you know what I'm reading. The people don't know what I'm reading. What I'm reading these days, aside from comics, I'm not gonna digress. I was about to start digressing as hard as a human could possibly digress, but I'm not gonna. Don't even catch me digressing. Don't even catch me digressing.
I know how to say I digress in a sentence. Definition.
See, most people. See, now you're gonna make me digress. Don't make me digress. I'm not digressing. I'm not gonna digress. I'm not digressing. What I've been reading is the ACOTAR books by Sarah J. Maas. Now, if people know these books are the Court of Thorns and Roses and the Court of this and that. They're these books. Now, if people are familiar with these books,
dragon porn.
That's what I'm about to get to. If people are familiar with these books, they're probably familiar with the fact that these are books that seem to be for women. They're like they call them romantasy. They call them smut. Smut is what most of the people say. But yes, there's like
fairy smut,
fairy smut, fairy porn. All these terms you've heard before.
I use dragon porn.
Dragon porn. There's no dragons in these ones.
I know,
but it's the same. But it's the same thing. So they're like fantasy novels, and then every few chapters, whatever, sprinkled throughout are these like insanely descriptive, like sexual scenes with the different characters and stuff. So, women go crazy for these books. Like, I'm telling you, the key demographic for these books is like, it's just women of, I assume, any age. But the ones that I see read them the most are like late 20s or something like that. So you're probably saying, Andrew, why would you be reading these books? You're not a late 20s woman. Not on the outside. I don't present late 20s woman. But I'll tell you this. This is a secret. This is a quick little secret. For all the fellas out there. Ladies, turn this off. The 12% of women who listen to this podcast, turn this off. If you're a fella and you're like, man, I'm trying to understand my lady a little bit more, read these books, because it's from the point of view of the female protagonist, the heroine, and
there's heroine?
No, you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't.
Heroine, a female hero.
Oh.
The female form of hero.
Yeah, didn't know that was a word. Would have clicked
You never
that one
knew
on the Kindle.
You've never heard?
No.
Good God. But I digress.
Getting back to the main subject.
But I'm saying, see, that's what people think digression means, but it's not. When you say I digress, it means you're speaking about digressing.
Yeah, you leave the main subject temporarily.
Yes.
And, yes.
So when you go off on a tangent, you say, but I digress.
But you just said you're not digressing, so you're getting back to the main subject. So I was right.
Okay, let's leave that up to the people.
What?
Anyways, the ACOTAR books, I don't know if I would recommend them to everyone, but they are good. And I'll tell you what, the action in them is also really, really good. The first two, I was kind of like, okay, like, you know, because I don't want to spoil anything in these books, but it's kind of like, okay, this woman, she's like in a situation that, you know, seems pretty bad. It's being presented to us as pretty bad, but then also it's like, oh, this guy, he's like the most powerful guy and he's in love with me. Ugh. Oh my God, I have to wear this beautiful dress. Ugh, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, relax. But then it starts to get, you know, it digresses a little bit and starts to get really cool. And I will say the action is good in all of them. All I'm saying is, if you're a fella and you want to read ACOTAR, it's not it might not be a bad thing for you to do.
Don't be ashamed.
No, certainly don't be ashamed. I don't think people should be ashamed to do most things. Most things.
Yeah.
You know, to each their own. But I keep digressing.
Yeah, you've been digressing.
I'm a bit of a digressor. I have trouble with digression because sometimes I was doing this today, dude. I'm talking for like if I've got to go for more than 3 sentences, I start getting in my head about like what is the most effective way to express this idea.
Yeah.
And it's almost like describing, I don't know. See, I'm doing it right now. I'm like, how do I do it? And it's like I'm tripping. It's like I'm running this sentence, and then I start to stumble over not words, but just ways of expression of ideas.
Yeah.
You know
Well, it's hard
to
explain things that are in your brain. I got two things on that. Because you're a write things down guy. You write stuff down.
I love writing it down.
You got to start writing stuff down.
Because I forget if I don't write it down. And also, I've realized I found a journal of mine, and I'm not a journal guy. I don't write in the journals. I think it'd be a good idea. But I wrote this thing like 5 years ago or something, and I read it, and I was like, it's not bad. Like this guy's right. Now that's also a little. That shows you a little insight into old Andy King. Like, this kid's not bad. But yeah, I'm a bit of a writer downer.
You should write stuff down.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll write myself a script for this whole podcast.
No.
I think that'll be better.
No, but my other thing was like write it down, but not necessarily in a write it down way. Start sketching if you need to. Draw arrows.
Yeah, arrows for sure. Diagrams.
Like, it's sometimes you got to do that.
It feels like sometimes it just feels like I'm trying to express. When I try to explain myself, sometimes it feels like trying to explain the way that a color tastes. You know what I mean?
I could tell you what every color tastes like.
Okay, let's go
Name
through.
a color.
Should we start with the primary colors and kind of break things down? Okay, so primary colors, red. What does red taste like?
Red is fruit punch.
Okay. I see what you're doing. Or like I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay, yellow then. Yellow's next.
Banana Laffy Taffy.
Jesus Christ.
That's what it tastes like. It's not that.
Yeah.
It maybe doesn't have the same consistency, but that's the
Laffy
taste.
Taffy, miss me with that completely. A candy that I've never liked.
Have you ever had a Banana Laffy Taffy?
Yes, of course I have. I would try to. I would like them just for the jokes and the wrappers. But
have you had a fresh one though? Because I
assume so.
No, dude. I feel like until I was about 24, 25, I never had a fresh Laffy Taffy.
Where were you? You were finding them on the ground?
No, because you get them in like Halloween candy or like somebody, whatever. You're never getting a fresh. You get a Laffy Taffy straight from the factory.
Yeah.
It's like a better Starburst, honestly. That might be crazy, but it is.
Now that we're talking about it, I can kind of remember the consistency of the chew of a Laffy Taffy.
But that's why when you get a
unique
fresh
experience.
One,
yeah.
It's like, okay, anyway. But again, not the consistency, just the
I
taste
know.
of yellow
I'm
is a
moving
banana
it.
Laffy Taffy.
The taste of yellow.
Yeah.
Ooh. See, that sounds like a fucking good romantasy book, doesn't it?
The taste of yellow.
Ooh, I like that. The
Yeah.
taste of yellow was the taste of summer, as Lillian sketched the tree that grew across the window from her bedroom. She thought about how it had grown over the years. She recalled the day her father planted it. It was raining. The soil was soft, so it was easy to plant something of that size, that deep in the wood.
All right, give me one more color.
Blue. Primary.
Ooh. See, blue is a tough one. Probably like cotton candy, like very sugary. I'm not going to say blue raz because I don't like blue raz things. So that's not what I envision blue tasting like. But blue is very sugary.
I think I'd like to give you one more. I'd like to get a little
Yep.
more conceptual with the colors here. So I'd like to go for let's say magenta.
Okay, so like the dog
Yeah, remember the dog
from
Blue's Clues?
Yeah.
Well, that's Periwinkle. No, magenta was a dog. Periwinkle was the cat.
See, I haven't thought as much about these ones. Let me think.
Yeah, consider mullet.
I'm thinking that's like a so this might sound odd
No,
off the jump,
go
but
with it.
hear me off. It's like a salted caramel type flavor.
I'm getting it. I'm getting a note of that. I'm
Mhm.
getting a note of that in magenta, and I
Mhm.
didn't expect it,
Yeah.
but I get a note of it. It's
So
there.
I know the taste of all colors.
Yeah. Okay.
What was I gonna say?
I was talking about something else, and then you were going to say something off
Oh.
of that.
Dude,
Folks, there's so much going on. You've got so much on your plate. Why take up more of your time with little things like having to go to the grocery store, my personal least favorite? I have started getting my groceries delivered, and it has changed everything for me. I am genuinely more happy of a person not having to deal with going through those aisles, people just running into other things with their carts, like people not looking each other in the eye. I really hate the grocery store, and the parking lots, forget about that. The great news is Instacart exists. And you might not know this, but you can get more than just groceries on Instacart. You can also get some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour, boy. But the best part is right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you have to do to get that deal is hit the link in this episode description. Start taking things off your plate and putting different things on your plate. It's a food delivery joke. It's not really a joke. It was just kind of a thing I said. The point is this. Make your life a little easier with Instacart. Hit the link in this episode description. Get that deal and start using Instacart today. Listen, like I said, you've been working hard. And I think you deserve to treat yourself. And there's no better way to do that than to check out all the great stuff we've got over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. We've got more than just clothes. But let me say this. The clothes, they're going to make you look good and make you feel good, okay? This is not some cheap, weird, like that Gildan brand and it fits disgusting. This is like, you're going to want to wear this stuff. It's super comfortable. The t-shirts especially. I'm talking tri-blend material. That's 3 kinds of material. That's Target quality, folks. But we've also got mugs and pint glasses and bucket hats and baseball hats, slides, notebooks, fanny packs, all made to order. So again, get yourself something nice and check it out over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. Link is also, of course, going to be in this episode description. Check it out. And if you're interested in advertising on this show, you can email us at snackspotsports@gmail.com for details on how you can start reaching thousands of listeners in the Buffalo area and beyond. You know, man, the podcast advertising, it feels like it gets bigger every week. Every week I listen to, my regular roster of podcasts, and it's like, Chevy is doing ads on podcasts now. Oh, Nissan's doing ads on podcasts now, like car companies, but not just them. McDonald's, State Farm, like massive brands that have massive ad budgets that do big commercials on the Super Bowl every year and all this stuff, and it's very cool. I mean, I can't think of anything in my lifetime that has created its own space for advertising in the realm of like television, newspaper, but now podcasts are right there with them, and that's only going to get bigger, and that's really cool. The problem is that there's not really any room for smaller or local businesses to get in on the action. At least they haven't yet. But the good news is that's what we're here for, all right? That's what we're all about. So, again, if you're interested in learning more about all the benefits to podcast advertising and what it can do for you, hit us up, reach out to us at snackspotsports@gmail.com.
I've decided, people that listen to the show and you are going to disagree with this. I would love to take a stab at writing some sketch comedy.
Okay.
But I need you to maybe be the actor.
Okay.
That does it.
I mean,
and maybe
do you
Sam
want to
Phillips
go?
too.
You want to, you want to talk some stuff out a little bit now?
But I think things. So I'm at this point in my life where, obviously people know I have a day job and stuff like that, and I think things all the time. Like, throughout the day. Like, not even based on stuff that happens, but, like, mostly it's, like, during lunch hours. Like, a couple people from the office will go get lunch. And, like, obviously you're just, like, hanging out at that point. You're not really talking about work stuff. But, like, something will get said, and it just, like, goes into this. I turn it into, like, a rabbit of my own back-and-forth conversation. That's probably coming from, like, my recent kind of obsession with the, Detroiters. Well, I think you should leave humor.
Oh, yeah.
But, damn, dude, in my head, I'm like, fuck.
You got to get something going.
I think I got to start writing stuff down.
The thing about...
Got to be a write it down guy.
Always got to be a write it down guy. That's something you got to learn the hard way. The thing about... Here's the deal. When you're looking at, I think you should leave in particular. Yeah, the writing is great and the jokes are, out there and very funny. But you gotta find a very specific voice, like the one Tim Robinson has, and branch out from there. If you try to...
But that's... I know what you're saying. I don't mean to cut you off. That's why I need you to do the, acting piece of it.
Okay.
And maybe with Sam Phillips.
Sure.
Because I want to give you guys a loose script.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't want it word for word kind of thing. And I want, people that... Because, like... Here, when the whole, like, you had to be there thing that people say?
Yes.
So this is not true in all situations, but a lot of time in had to be there moments when people say something that was funny in the moment and then they tell somebody that wasn't there and nobody laughs. It's not so much that the premise still isn't funny, but it's about the delivery of, like, exactly how it happened.
Sure.
So you need people to be like, okay, if you just read this in words, it's like whatever. But I'm going to, accentuate or whatever that word is, like how I say something.
That was definitely pretty close to it.
Yeah. What is it?
Accentuate.
Accentuate. Is it?
One of us is right.
All right. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yep.
Sketch comedy.
I think that if it's something you're interested in, you should give it a shot.
I'm really not, but I just think I could do it.
Now that's crazy. Now that's a crazy claim.
I'm not saying that's
basically that's saying like I could do a 180 or whatever that Tony Hawk's crazy skateboard move is.
Well, 180 is only a half a spin.
Well, whatever the 9
I
the
could do half a
960. I couldn't do half a spin. Skateboard, there's no way I could get through even half a spin.
I could do half a spin.
But what is
I could do a pop shove
any
it.
number?
You ever heard of a pop shove it?
A pop shove it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's in one of those ACOTAR books.
All my boarders out there know what I'm talking about.
Shout out to Pro Skater. No, you don't have
to
to explain. Yeah, I know what a pop shove it is. I took health class. I get it.
You don't know.
Do not look up a pop shove it.
I'm looking
up
a pop shove it.
Do not waste my time by looking up a pop shove it skateboard move.
Shove it.
Okay. skateboarding. I think that's probably on the list of things. Skateboarding, like top five things that like almost everybody has tried and quit. I would say skateboarding,
slow motion pop shove it,
guitar,
slow motion pop shove it. That's a pop shove it.
That looks like every other skateboard
that,
trick that
I agree
I've
with.
ever
That's
seen.
why all you need to know is how to do a pop shove it. It's like what do they call it? It's like an ollie and a.
I don't know,
spin
dude.
the
Because
board.
if you asked me what that was, I would say an ollie. If you told me it was a kick flip, I'd believe it.
No, kickflip the board spins.
This board was not spinning there
On its
I
horizontal
hear you, I
axis,
hear
not
you.
its vertical axis.
Could have fooled me. It could have fooled me if you
Yeah.
asked me. That was spinning on all axis.
That
All
was
axi.
pretty good terminology. I just
No,
used.
that was a great way to explain it.
Yeah,
Very well done.
yeah.
Have you watched the new Knives Out yet?
No,
I want you to watch it just because
I
want to
watch it too.
The song at the end is so good.
I haven't had a chance. There's a lot going on. There's football. There's hockey. There's, dude, I'll tell you what's really has me hung up. Somebody told me the other day that they were rewatching Chuck, and I was like, no fucking way. Like, what are you watching it on? And they're like, it's on Amazon Prime right now, like included in Prime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's fucking go. This was on like December 23rd. So like December 28th, I'm like, dude, I'm about to dive into some Chuck. I'm about to start rewatching Chuck. I don't know if it was December 28th, whatever. So I go on Amazon. Chuck's not on Prime. Like, you can buy it obviously, but it's not on Prime. So I do the old Google, like, Chuck, and it's like a couple different places. It's not on any of them. So I text this person. I'm like, hey, where were you watching Chuck? And they're like, I think Amazon. Like, let me look when I get home. They text me back like a couple hours later. I was watching Chuck on Amazon. They took it off Prime on December 26th.
Jeez.
So I was 2 days late to be able to watch Chuck.
That's the game.
But all I could think about was Chuck.
It's a great show.
So I bought the first season of Chuck on Amazon. And I'm working my way through it right now.
Listen, that's a purchase.
High chance I buy the second season.
That's good. That's a purchase. You're going to get, it's going to keep on delivering. You're going to get some dividends out of Chuck.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Have you ever seen The X-Files?
No.
I'm rewatching The X-Files right now. Here's what I'm doing.
What's that on?
Excuse me.
Is that, see, that's, I can't get into The X-Files right now.
I'm not saying you should.
I know, but
There's no time limit on the X-Files.
Okay.
Same way there's no time limit on Chuck. X-Files is evergreen. Here's the deal. I'm doing one of those things. I found a list where it's like, okay, skip this episode. I'm skipping around because I love the X-Files, but there are so many episodes of that show, obviously. 11 seasons, 22 episodes for almost every single one of those seasons. And some of them just aren't good because the problem with the X-Files, which is just inherent in the show, is that you never get an answer to fucking anything. You watch all of it, and there's no conclusion. Even when they brought it back in 2015, 2016, I think, they did another season, like 8 episodes or something. No resolution. All you get is more questions, which is kind of the point of the X-Files, you realize eventually. But I'm watching some.
That sucks.
It does.
What a terrible
but
idea
some
for a
of,
TV show.
Yeah, but again, it's kind of the point because the whole thing with the X-Files is the Mulder and Scully, the FBI agents, they're trying
Mulder
to
and
figure all
Scully.
these things out, but it's about government corruption, cover-ups, and that's the whole
Is
situation.
there aliens?
Oh, yeah, aliens is like all... That's the X-Files, baby.
That's what I figured.
They're all
but I
about
didn't know
that.
for certain.
But it's not just aliens. It's all kinds of cool paranormal stuff. There's so many great episodes of that show, like one-offs that you don't get from the streaming services where maybe, every episode is a banger, like your hitting percentage is higher, but it's also like we only have 8 episodes to tell this whole story, so they're all going to be kind of about that. Whereas in X-Files, season premiere, you got some stuff that your solutions from the finale previous, and And then, a couple episodes in, it's like, okay, we're going to search for a vampire serial killer.
That's how NCIS was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like the way
it's
those
an old
long
school
shows,
TV show where, like, there's, over the course of a season, yes, there may be one underlying plot line, but you might go 2-3 episodes with no reference to that story.
Which, gives the people writing the show, I think, a lot of creative freedom. I'm watching the X-Files, and so my wife does not like it. So she'll be upstairs, and I'll be downstairs watching the X-Files, and she's like, I don't think I want to watch the show because it's funnier to just listen to you watch the show because it's, there's a lot of suspense in it, the show as well. Not just like reveals of things that have to do with the plot, but just like, oh my God, some thing will like pop out of a man's body, and I'll be like, Jesus Christ. Here's my point. There's a stereotype. I don't know if you know this, Matthew. I'm not going to put this on you, but there's a stereotype that specifically African-American people, black people, will yell at movie theater screens. And I think that should be allowed everywhere. One, I don't think black people are the only people that do that. And two, I don't think they're the only people that should be doing that. I think that if you are in a movie theater, I'm not talking about talking on your cell phone, but when something happens, why isn't everybody going, Jesus Christ, did you see that? Because that's what it
happens
should
at a
be.
sports game.
What a great point, Matthew. That's what happens at a sports game. When Joey Hardball and I had our Film Juice show, we would go see the movies together. And the theater we were in, there weren't a lot of people. So because I've been conditioned to, in a theater where there are people, to not express myself, when we were in a theater that was just the two of us, man, we saw A Quiet Place, for example. And when Emily Blunt steps on that nail, I got up out of my seat screaming, and I was running around the theater because there's nobody in there. Yeah. If I'm in a theater with other people and that happens,
you should still be allowed
I see somebody else getting up screaming, I'm like, yeah, man, that's a natural human reaction. Don't throw things, don't make a mess for the people who work there. But you gotta yell at the theater.
Like when Captain America gets the Thor hammer and people went nuts.
Yes,
that should be
escalated. Yeah. Escalated. You gotta be like, ugh.
Or like when people were yelling at the Minecraft movie. Chicken
jockey.
Chicken jockey.
Kind of like that. That's kind of why I said don't throw the shit, because that was a big like throwing shit thing. But like,
which is
I don't know.
Fucking funny, dude. I don't know anything about that, but I just all right. I got one.
I know.
Before we do the week.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
please.
But I got one more thing that I did want to talk about. Have you seen all the? We're talking about X-Files and TV shows and stuff. Have you seen all the Stranger Things conspiracies? Like, are you up to date?
No,
on this?
because I haven't watched.
Oh, you haven't watched it?
I didn't want to talk about. No, did you?
Yes.
So you've watched all of season 5 now?
Yes.
I didn't watch it.
I watched it on New Year's Day. I set my alarm.
Okay.
All right. I set my alarm at 8 a.m. on New Year's Day because I knew that my fiance would want to sleep in, and she doesn't watch Stranger Things, and it was 2-hour plus episode. So I knew if I started at like 8, I could watch it between like 8 and 10:30 and like have my own little.
I honestly I didn't want to talk about this because I talk about the Stranger Things, and
so you haven't seen any of the conspiracy theories?
Nope, because I've been avoiding all of it.
Well, I'll tell you what it all boils down to is like everybody's convinced that episode 8, the finale, is not actually the finale. That like within the next couple weeks, they're going to like release an episode 9.
I did see something about a secret episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of
a secret episode.
Anyway, who would win of the week?
Yeah, we have to do the who would win. The who would win of the week this week is Snoopy versus Scrappy Doo. A little bit of a puppy battle. A little bit of a puppy power battle.
So, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Because my Snoopy lore is rusty.
Okay.
Is Snoopy always the Red Baron?
No.
Like deep down?
Deep down, maybe. That's a question.
Or is like the
Snoopy.
Red Baron just a character that Snoopy plays?
Snoopy, yeah, he plays Red Baron the way someone would play like pirates. You know what I mean?
So he's not an actual war hero.
Snoopy is not a decorated war hero, as far as I know.
Okay, this changes things immensely.
Well, Scrappy also is not a decorated war hero.
Exactly why I thought that Scrappy had no chance. But if Snoopy's Mr. Stolen Valor over here,
Damn.
I jump instantly. I'm jumping ship towards Scrappy without even thinking through the rest of the fight.
Snoopy, if you think about it, God, this is going in a completely different direction than I thought. But if you think about it, Snoopy is like those guys who, wear camo and stuff, and like the American flag, but they're like have never served in the military before.
Yeah,
they're like, man, somebody tries to take my rights away. It's like, okay. But he's like, what branch? He's like, I walked past a recruitment center one time.
So
you know what I mean?
I looked up, does Snoopy classify as stolen valor? And it says no because...
Did you ask ChatGPT that?
Yes.
You have to stop using that fucking thing,
Why?
dude. Because it's not expressing anything.
I know, but the reason...
But your opinion on
this
whether
doesn't
that's
change
true.
my opinion.
But
already
your
made my
opinion on that is
I'm
so much
curious
more
to
interesting than anything that has to say.
I look things up on this. So this is...
About to digress.
I'm going to digress.
Fuck.
This is my thing with ChatGPT. And the reason that I like it and what I utilize it for, I agree. I don't look at it to give me an opinion. But what I like as a pair, because this is what I think. If you're looking up something that's like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like fugazi. Like,
sure.
What I'm looking for a word.
I don't know. You're gonna have
like
to,
theoretical.
Okay.
If you're looking up something that's theoretical
Yeah.
on Google,
I like the Italian scientist Einstein's theory of fugazi.
yeah. If you're looking up something that's theoretical on Google, you can read articles maybe that somebody, or you can read a Reddit post about it on somewhere, but that is generally somebody's opinion. The reason that I like ChatGPT is because it usually just gives like 3 facts on the matter that aren't actually like necessarily pertinent, but it quickly answers the general basis of the question. And I'll explain this to you by telling you what it said. Is it says, the first part is stupid. That's why I brought it up, because it says stolen valor applies to real people claiming real military service or what. Like, that's obviously stupid.
Yeah.
Like, no, obviously Snoopy doesn't have. But this is the part. So it says, his World War I flying ace persona is clearly a parody and imagination. So that's what I mean. So again, my Snoopy lore wasn't up to date, so I didn't know that was clearly a parody. Hence why I asked if he was actually a war hero.
He flies his
He's
doghouse,
not.
man. Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
I think I've seen him in a plane, no?
Pretty sure he's just flying his doghouse.
Maybe he really is, but in his imagination, I guess it is that he's flying a plane. So knowing that Snoopy does have stolen valor, again, contrary to what ChatGPT is trying to tell me.
But my thing with Scrappy is he's such a little moron. He's such a little pipsqueak moron.
Dude, his name is Scrappy.
Yeah, because he's like a feisty little piece of shit.
And Snoopy's Joe Cool, man.
God damn, you got that right, brother. Snoopy, Joe Cool hanging by the water fountain playing
Snoopy
it cool.
Throws on the shades, and he does not give a fuck. Like, so this is the thing, is that I think what would happen is Scrappy would be, and Snoopy would be like legs crossed on a bench, and kind of would just kick Scrappy away, like, get away from me, man. I'm Snoopy. I'm Joe Cool. I'm Red Baron. Wait, Red Baron's the pizza.
Also, well, Red Baron is named for a real like flying ace.
Yes. But that is what Snoopy calls himself, right?
No, Snoopy. Technically speaking, this is like a Frankenstein's monster type thing. Snoopy is facing the Red Baron.
Oh, okay. Either way, not a war hero. So I think originally, like, Snoopy's going to be totally unbothered by Scrappy at first, but I think that will continue to light a fire under Scrappy's ass, and at some point I think he's going to take things to like the next level and like bite Snoopy's Achilles off.
Look, I know Scrappy's whole deal, and he's full of energy, and Snoopy's kind of the opposite of that. Scrappy. But I think stolen valor or not, I want to take Snoopy, because I think Scrappy, and I hate to use a term like this, but I just think that Scrappy is kind of a pussy. You know what I mean? I think he's pussing
that's
out.
so not Scrappy.
I just think he doesn't.
Don't you remember Scrappy from the Ghoul School?
Yeah, I remember Scrappy from everything.
He ain't a bitch. I'm taking Scrappy.
He's not a fraidy cat, but
exactly.
But he's just
Scrappy.
a little like Snoopy would just.
There's one thing
punt
I
that
want on
guy
my
out of the
side.
park.
It's Scrappy, like the term. And if you're named Scrappy, it's because you're Scrappy. I'm locking in Scrappy.
I think I'm still going to take Snoopy. I just think Snoopy would drop kick that little freak
Yeah.
right out of town.
And you could be right. There's only one way we'll ever know, and it'll be next year in the Tournament of Champions when Scrappy goes on a run. Vote on that on Instagram on Friday. Who would win of the week? Scrappy Doo versus Snoopy, a.k.a. Joe Cool, a.k.a. not a war hero. Andy, like you said, brief episode today. Got to run. I love you.
Got a blast. Love you too. Let's get out of here. Thanks, folks.